Jeff and I have discussed at length Jaylen Brown and his development. And is this being noticed outside our little 128 area?
Yeah, no question. No, he's an all-star for sure, the way he's playing. And it came up so much because the Celtics were kind of mentioned as this team on the periphery in the Harden sweepstakes. And I think you guys know Danny better than I do. You know they're not going to advertise it, but he's a player like Harden's available. He is going to go all the way to the line and look at it and ask himself, is this a guy we should go after? And I think they did. I think they were in it till the end, however we want to define in it. But you're obviously not trading Tatum. And I think Brown is the same way. I think Jaylen Brown has elevated himself to the point that if you're the Celtics, you do not trade Jaylen Brown, who is developing on this amazing curve, for a question mark in James Harden when you don't know how willing he would be to be in Boston and how he would embrace that situation. So, it's been a huge boost to the Celtics to see what he's become. They have a lot of question marks, but they have two undeniably sensational cornerstone players.
If Kemba gets back to close to 100%, do you feel like the Celtics can come out of the East?
To me, the East is still a grab bag. There are, Indiana's. It's funny because coming into the season, my take was that the East is still, way behind the West in terms of depth, but at least the top six of the East is going to be fascinating. And I was leaving out Indiana, who still belong in that group. Toronto has had a real uneven start. So, they've got to kind of prove that they're still part of that mix. But nobody's running away with the East. And depending on how the matchups go, depending on how these teams develop in an absolutely bizarre season, I wouldn't pick the Celtics right now, but I certainly wouldn't rule it out. I still think, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Philly are the top three, but nobody's running away with the East right now.
Mark, the Celtics became the latest team this year, the other night, to score 140. We've had games where teams have scored 140, two each of them without overtimes. The scoring is up in a just an amazing way. Okay, the joking theory is nobody wants to guard anybody because of COVID, But seriously, is there any discussion or buzz around the league about this, or what is exactly going on? Are people just saying screw defense? What is going on?
Well, I think one of the other stats that's making the rounds is, half the teams in the league now, 40% of their shots are from three. And so there are a lot of people turned off by that. I was baiting you.
Hey, you can bait him a whole lot easier than that.
It doesn't bother me. I love distance shooting and I love shot making, but the question is posed all the time. Are teams taking too many threes? Is the way that the game has evolved to basically all threes and layups? I certainly don't miss 90s basketball and maybe even early. Was it the 04 final? What was the year San Antonio beat Detroit? Was that 5?
That was 04. 04.
04 Pistons beat the Lakers. It was 05.
Okay.
That 7 games of just absolute slog. Just like, I don't miss that.
I hated it too, but there's a middle ground. I hated that. I decried it. I screamed about it. I wrote about it endlessly. I tracked the beginning and who the culprits were. Jerry Sloan, Larry Brown of all people, taking fewer than 80 shots a game. When and that's a stat people don't talk about that I used to pay attention to. All right, I didn't want that either. But now we have this. But it's not all just about the three, though. I don't think. It must be pace of game is better.
Well, there's more. There's more possessions in games. I think this is the 3rd year in a row where teams have topped that 100 possession a game mark. So that's a thing. It's funny that the 7 seconds or less Suns, they were seen as this revolutionary team. Pace wise, they'd be bottom 3rd now in terms of possessions a game. So that definitely is it. There's just so many more teams have the ball more than they did, and that they're getting shots up so much faster.